Oh. Ooh. We good? Yellow Knights. Rolfie, Xander, Cook Diplo. Yes, guys, some... I don't usually swear, but some shit has gone down. I can tell you that. 2 big KvKs. And 2 big Diplo dramas. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about the results of diplomacy for both our KvK, which is us here in 3505 with 3251, 3517, 1473, 2293, 1394, 2666, and other campaigns, etc. And 1093 versus 2489. Why am I awake? Good question. Honestly, I've been just popcorning and just reading chats. If I'm being completely honest, that's what I've been doing. Cause yeah, like I said, some shit went down. Where do we start? Where do you want to start, guys? You want to start with the A-seed KvK with a couple Imperiums, or the big one, the elephant in the room? Forgot I migrated out of 2489? Well, I might have dodged the bullets. Cause that KvK... Yeah. Does anyone have maps? I should have come prepared with this. Does anyone have maps of the Diplo outcomes, like with stats and stuff? If you do, please send it in my in-game chat, send it in my in-game DM, or send it in my Discord DM. What's the elephant in the room? We'll get to the elephants. Because some stuff happened. Some stuff happened. Yo, Skitty, what's up? You know some of the stuff that went down today. You know, you're a part of the whole AC debacle. Do we have a map? We need a map. We need a map, guys. We need for what, bro? We need a map. Yo, let me in your chat. Send me a message in game, and send me a friend request, and I'll add you. On Discord. You know what? I can find someone posted. Surely I can scroll up. Is it here? Aha, okay. Well, hold on. Let me... I don't have Epic Man on my new PC. Okay, it's a bit blurry, but I think you guys can see. Anyway, 1093 in the top. Oh, let me get my cursor back on screen. 1093, 2489 with a camp mid 1770. And 3213, which... yeah. And 3672 over here. Now, for those of you that were here yesterday when we were streaming, when we saw this map, you guys will know that I said, well, I don't think it's that fair that 1770 or 2489 as a campmate, but at the same time, this 3672 camp is a lot stronger than this 3213 camp. So I said I thought, and this is my personal opinion, I thought these two should ally together. Now, what ended up happening... Well, I think, actually, I didn't see anyone actually announce the Diplo results. But since I saw a bunch of people from 1093 going crazy in Fight Club, what I assume happened is that 2489 ended up allying with 3672. And, well, I also heard that there were talks of cancelling the map, but that some people didn't want to. Yeah, so, yo, Schmuck, you got some videos to make on this Diplo, bro. On both Diplos. And, well, from what I understood, and this is not an announcement I've seen or something official, from what I understood, 1093 said they're not fighting the KvK. Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but because I haven't seen anything official, I just saw a bunch of stuff happen in Fight Club, and that's where my data comes from. Apo showed an announcement from 93 that they will fight Zone 5, and that's it. Does anyone have that announcement? If we have an official announcement from 93, then we could... Only not fighting if 489 doesn't ally us, which is what's going on. If 489 doesn't ally us, who's us? 1093? 1093. We're having a farm KvK as long as 489 insists on the 2 trillion KP advantage. Yeah, so as long as these two guys are allied, 1093, from what I understood, don't come at me. 1093 and their friends here at Mercia said they're not gonna fight if these guys stay allied, from what I understood. Now, I'm not involved in this KvK in any shape or form. I have a bunch of friends in 2489. Also have some friends in 1093. But yeah. I said yesterday on my stream when we saw the matchup, because 2489 has a camp ally, I said I think that they should take the weaker ally. That was my personal opinion. And I stand by that. I think that's the most fair outcome. And if I was doing diplomacy for 489, that's probably what I would have gone with. Even though it's a very hard KvK if that happens, but I still think it's more fair. Oh, but yeah, that's cooked. That is cooked. They also insisted they won't cancel the match. That's the other strange part, right? If these guys are saying they're not gonna fight, if you two ally, and you don't want to cancel the map, I don't know, because this happens a lot these days, where kingdoms, and I'm not saying that this is what's happening here, but it does happen a lot these days where kingdoms threaten to not fight, and we'll get to the AC Diplo in just a little bit here, because some of that was happening over there too. But like, it is a difficult decision to make, right? Do you call their bluff? Or do you believe them? Personally, I would believe them in this case. Well, personally, I wouldn't have done this KvK in this way in the first place, but that's another topic. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much there is for me to say on it. I stated, and I still believe that when I saw the map, I thought 2489 and 1770 should have allied with the 3213 camp. Because 3213, I mean, you can see their power and their KP, right? It's a known sort of... And actually, this is another big topic that's happening these days. Of big kingdoms in terms of power that do not punch at their power. And this is known about 3213, because these kingdoms tend to ruin quite a lot of matchmakings, right? I think they were in the 1316 KvK and kind of ruined that matchmaking, if I remember correctly. And also, we'll get to my KvK. But something needs to be done, in my opinion, about these overly powerful kingdoms with very, very bad stats and very, very bad track records of fighting. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not there and I'm not... It's hard for me to say, like... But I just think 489 should switch allies or they should just cancel the map. Like, if 489 thinks that if they ally these guys it's unlosable, then cancel the map, right? If it's so that 1093 and these guys want to cancel the map, then cancel it, right? Unless you don't, unless you want to switch allies. Then cancel it. Going into a KvK knowing there won't be a fight. And this happened to us, right? This happened to us in the last KvK that we played in 960 when we migrated to 489 from 960. 1093 and 2293 were saying they were going to ally together. And I proposed to cancel the map. But they refused, right? So this is not the first time something like this has happened, but yeah, I don't know. I think it just sucks for everyone involved, right? No, honestly, I think if it can't be agreed upon and that it will end up in just a disaster of a farm KvK, why do you want to sit here for 2-3 months and do nothing? Just cancel it and move on. It's not the end of the world if you cancel it, you wait a couple more weeks and that's it. If you don't cancel it, then... yeah, I don't know. To put it this way, I'm happy I'm not in this KvK. What's this? Was this announcement? I post forward here. Diplo was relatively simple despite being... I can't see that. From the beginning, the majority of kingdoms voiced that they would prefer to cancel the map. All of Mercia camp, some of East Anglia, and we agreed to go with what the majority preferred since 2049 with the campmate is scuffed. However, rejecting the map requires all 4 camps to agree, and 2049, 1770 said that cancelling was completely off the table for them. Arvix told Mercia that they could pick their ally if they would participate, and Mercia openly said that since their first preference was to cancel the map, The only way they could justify playing an unbalanced map would be to make the 2v2 as balanced as possible by allying with 2489 and 1770. Which brought us down to 3 options. 1, cancel. 2, 89 plus Mercia versus 93 plus East Anglia. Or 3, Mercia sits out and we all get a farm KvK. Which suddenly was not what he meant. Which suddenly was not what he meant at all. After 2 hours of listening to Arvik's argue with Acids in VC about how much money he spent last KvK only to lose, we simply told them that even ignoring numbers, balance, etc, we're not going to ask our players to fully prepare, just for our allies to not go all in with us. This isn't 2023-2024 where it makes sense to zero the whole kingdom for ego and pride in an unwinnable contest. Been there, done that, didn't even get a t-shirt. We called for everyone to take the options back to their players and then talk again at 19 UTC. Well, 89 came back with an announcement that they choose option 3 by allying East Anglia without further discussion. So yeah, not ideal situation, and I'm sure that some will disagree with this, but we're not going to fight 1v2 into that. We'll have some fun in Zone 5, defend our passes and forts with farms for some migration points, and try to join the wider pool of more interesting opponents after this KvK. They told Red Camp they get to choose allies. Red Camp said, okay, we choose you. 89 was like, JK, no, we want blue FU. Well... it's cooked. It's completely cooked. Unless all these kingdoms can swallow their pride and come back to the negotiation table and figure something else out than what's happening right now. Listen, in my opinion, and I'm gonna try to be as unbiased as I can, even though I have friends in 2489, and that's my former kingdom, I think that either 2489 should switch the allies to the red camp or they should cancel the map. Because if it's so that they won't fight the 2v2 if 2489 is allied with 3672, then why do you want to be in the map? Why do you want to sit there for 2 months and do nothing? And I think that's quite simple, right? If you don't get a matchup that people are willing to play, then cancel it. Or make the matchup that people are willing to play. That's my opinion. Yo, Mo. Big Boss Mo. That's my opinion. If I'm in 489 shoes in this situation, either change your ally or cancel the map. I wouldn't want to put my kingdom into a 2-month farming simulation. That doesn't sound fun. And doesn't sound good for the longevity of the kingdom either. They have 1 more day to cancel. Which is this timer. They have this time left to cancel. What do I think about the deploy? I think it's cooked. I think it's completely cooked. And I mean, I'll be unbiased. I said that I think, when I saw the map yesterday at reset, I said I think 489 and 489 and the weakest camp should ally. Because 489 as a campmate, that's a pretty good campmate. And then I thought the map would be okay, right? Because 489 as a camp ally, one of the camps is weaker than the other. And if not, right? If not, then cancel the map. You put 960 in a 2-month farming session already, what do you mean? You know who wanted to cancel that map? Me. You know who didn't want to cancel that map? 2293 and 1093. I wanted to cancel that map, to put it very clear. But 1093 and 2293 wanted to 2v2. By the way, the same 1093. The same 1093 that's just beat 489 in the last KvK and the water camp A-Seeds wanted to 2v2 against a 40 member GT and A-Seeds. So I said no, we're not gonna do that, and I wanted to cancel the map. They didn't want to. It ended what it ended in. But that's not what we're talking about in this stream. But since someone brought it up, I had to mention it. Now, what is this? Diplo is finished. After hours of tireless negotiation, we have finally concluded the final results. Please get ready for a bloody KvK and unlock it. Wait, what? Did that just happen? Or is this fake? Is this real? Is this real, chat? Fake? Fake? Okay, well, okay. I was like, there's no way that just changed as we were... Anyhow, moving on. We have our KvK. That also, there was some interesting diplomacy happening. So, to explain, this is my understanding of the situation. I was not in the Diplo chat, but this is my understanding of what went down. Initially, there were a lot of talks of top versus bottom. Some were talking about left versus right, but didn't seem like that was a popular option. And then there were also some obscure options and some other stuff. But anyway, originally, there was a conclusion that was made, and this was voted on 4 out of 6 kingdoms to be the result, which was Purple Camp, and I'll use the colors because I'm not gonna name all of them. Purple Camp, Blue Camp, and Light Blue Camp allied against Red Camp, Green Camp, and Yellow Camp. That was the initial, and that was voted on and agreed upon by 4 out of 6 of the camps. It was agreed upon by our camp, the Purple Camp, it was agreed upon by the Light Blue Camp, it was agreed upon by the Blue Camp, and it was agreed upon by the Yellow Camp. So, at that point, everyone thought Diplo was over. But then, there was a bunch of stuff that happened in Discord servers, in chats. People started saying pre-ally, all this stuff. I think Red and Green said that they were not going to fight if that was the map situation. And then it was like, okay, back to the drawing table. Everyone wants to fight. And then it went back to top versus bottom. That I think some kingdoms originally didn't want, but then agreed to after that whole drama happened. And now it's top versus bottom. And that's what the KvK is. That's an easy KvK, lock red and do a 3v2 in Kingsland. You can still do the same in top versus bottom though. You see that, right? Lock here, 3v2. Still possible. Top versus bottom, top just wins now. So when I saw the map yesterday, personally, my personal preference was left versus right. But I understand why many kingdoms didn't want that. For instance, these guys don't get a zone 5 fight. These guys maybe get a zone 5 fight. The blue camp was... there was uncertainty on how much they were going to be fighting. And I don't know if that's been like clarified. It's still a 2v2 in the zone 6. Well, it's about a bit of the same issue, and let me find a better map than this. But it's a bit of the same issue as... give me a second. Let me find a better map. It's a bit of the same issue as in the 1093-2489 map. And I'll show you what I mean by that. I have a map somewhere with stats. Okay, here. I found it. Here. Okay. So there was a lot of debate about this kingdom. Similar to the 3213 in the 489 KvK, right? Because if you see, these guys are even more power. They're nearly 48 billion power with almost 600 billion KP. So their stats for their power, I mean, just factually are very low. Now, their potential to perform is very high. They have a ton of main accounts. I think they have 3 alliances. And they have a ton of power to use. But it's an uncertainty, right? So there was a lot of discussion, and I'm not saying this is true or not, about the kingdom. But there was a lot of discussion about them not performing up to standards. So that's caused some issues, so to speak. Your domain 1 is only 33 billion power. Skitty, I know, but like factually, if you compare to most other kingdoms around your power range, your stats are a lot lower, right? And I'm not saying there's a shame in that, but that is the truth, right? Agreed. Okay. So there was like, well, I think they were kind of treated, and I'm not saying again this is true. Don't cook me. That these guys were basically deadweights, right? That's the sort of like the, I guess, the idea people had. And I'm not saying that's true. I'll clarify again. We'll see how they perform. They have a lot of potential to perform. They have a lot of main accounts. They can do big things in the KvK. And honestly, and since Skitty is here, Skitty, by the way, is I think the king of 1394. I appreciate you being in the chats. You guys should prove everyone wrong this KvK. Because if you guys really show up, this will be a really great KvK, right? If everyone truly shows up in this KvK, it will be great. And I think you should prove everyone wrong. Because everyone's saying, no one wanted to ally us, but once 2293 said they did and don't care, it still wasn't good enough. Yeah. Anyway. I still think this KvK has potential to be very fun. I do. My camp is not gonna have fights until Zone 6, which personally I'm a bit bummed about, but if that's what we have to sacrifice to have a good KvK, then, you know, who cares, so be it. I'll sacrifice a Zone 5 fight to actually have a good KvK. Yeah, I think we can have fun. Truth be told, I don't think there's nearly as much drama in this KvK as in the 1093-2489. Oh, there's a 1300 Kingdom of 3 alliances. What I heard is that is that the cap was opened or something, or there was some stuff with Fleisch. I don't know. Truthfully, I don't know. I've just heard stuff, and that stuff I've heard could just be some bullshit. So I'm not gonna claim that I know how this kingdom ended up with 3 alliances. Uh... 1394 has never ever opened cap. Well, there goes that theory out the window. So you need to fight all 3 YouTuber kingdoms? Yeah, it is true. It's the YouTubers against the rest. Chisgul's over here, I'm over here, and Billect's over here. Every person in 1394 has personally gone through your interviews. Great. Honestly, Skitty, honestly, you could do the biggest thing ever here and just show a big middle finger to everyone that's calling you guys deadweights and saying that this is a useless camp. And you could show how big this KvK. You have a great opportunity to do so. And if everyone shows up, and I'm not talking only about these guys, if everyone shows up from every camp, this is gonna be an amazing KvK. It looked, honestly, it looked pretty bleak at one point. People were saying they weren't gonna be fighting, etc, etc. But right now, honestly, I think it looks good. If everyone is committed, shows up, we're gonna have a good KvK, I think. Why was left versus right rejected? I think the reason why left versus right was rejected, although I think left versus right makes sense, in the sense of like, in the sense of balance for the entire KvK. But left versus right is the least fight possible. Because only us and 2293 have a zone 5 fight here. These guys no zone 5 fight, no zone 5 fights, maybe zone 5 fight if they want to. Who knows? And then, but the thing is, right, this zone then, like, let's say 35-17 win. I mean, doesn't even matter if they win, because we can all go help them later on. This zone is, like, basically it's just a split map, right? Like, we control one side of the zone, and these 3 control this side of the zone. And there's basically very small fights until Kingsland. And that's, I think, why left versus right was rejected. Even though for balance sake, I think it makes a lot of sense with left versus right. But the map is not great for a left versus right, because the fights are very limited until Kingsland. If you don't fight zone 5, how can you get to start? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Either way, star, no star. At the end of the day, if this solution, top versus bottom, ends with us having a great KvK, then that's all I really want as a player, right? I want to have a good fight. Sure, I'm gonna sacrifice a ton of things. I'm gonna sacrifice the zone 5 fights. I'm maybe gonna sacrifice a lot of rewards because we're gonna have less fights than everyone else. Maybe. But if it turns into a good fight because of that, then I'm happy. If we get a good fight, I'm happy. You personally think this is a good setup, Skitty? If everyone's happy with it, then we go fight, right? And then we have a good time. And may the best team of 3 kingdoms come out on top. Which side is stronger now on paper? Good question. I mean, it's pretty close, I think, right? If you look at the KP, you look at the power, like these guys have pretty high power here, but these guys have higher KP. These guys have very high power, but then we have higher KP, right? But very low power. Our camp is very, very low power. And then these guys have a bit lower power than these guys, but a bit higher KP. I think it's fairly... On paper, in terms of stats, I think it's fairly even. And also, you can see their campmates are not, like, terrible, right? They have decent campmates. 1858, 2158. They look pretty solid. On paper. 500 bill KP Kingdoms. And these guys also. 500 bill, 400 bill, 400 bill, 350 bill. Yeah, I mean, I think we can have fun. On paper, 3517 should beat 3251 in Zone 5, and same with 1473 versus 2293. Then 2666 comes into play later on to balance it out. That's your view on it, but you just want a good fight, so you don't care. You have a great view on it. And like I said, if everyone shows up big this KvK, we're gonna have a really fun KvK. Win or lose, I think if everyone just shows up and does everything they can to fight and win this KvK, we're gonna have fun. All of us. So yeah, that's our KvK. Little bit of drama. Wasn't drama free. But the Imperium KvK is definitely a bit more... Yeah, drama. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. This is gonna affect a lot of players. Look at all these kingdoms here. Look at all these kingdoms. What map am I looking at? I thought... Bro. I thought I was looking at the 1093 map. Oh my god, I'm cooked. There we go. There's a lot of kingdoms, right? This is gonna affect a lot of players, so... I really hope it gets sorted out. Because all these guys gonna sit in here for 2 months doing nothing. Oh man. Here's the thing, only 1 month recovery from Hell 93 KvK, 3251 and 3517 got hammered all KvK, so drained, you don't know if they can hold more than other kingdoms. Well, in that case, it's fairly split, right? One team got 3517, one team got 3251. And I agree, they're probably the 2 most drained kingdoms in the map. So, one side has each. Makes sense, I think it's fine. What is deploying the 1093 versus 2489 KvK? I believe 2489 and 3672 allied together. And because of that, the Mercia camp and 1093 announced they're not gonna fight the KvK. Ooh. $26.66 also got quite drained from 1316. Yeah, I heard that too. Also, only 1 month ago, you also got effed by 3672. Luckily, you got enough farms you can rotate through, but still not at 100%. 1473 and 2293 are the freshest. That makes sense. Yo, Roro, what's up? My old friends, we're allies. We've been enemies. Guys, I don't know if you guys realize. And I'll say Chisgul and I'll say 2293. Okay, listen. Me and Chisgul played together in 2293. For a few KvKs. I don't remember exactly how many. I think it was maybe three or something. 3 KvKs, 4 KvKs. I think we were there. And then I left. We both left 2293 actually. Chisgul went to 2377. I went to 1960. 1960 fights 2377. That's the first KvK. So, okay, to like give even more perspective. Since basically the start of the game, I've been playing in the same kingdom as Chisgul until that split. When I went to 1960 and he went to 2293. Or to 2377. Then, yeah, okay. Then we had 1960 versus 2377, me versus Chisgul. Then we had 1960 versus 1093, but also 2293, again me versus Chisgul. And then we had again... yeah, again 1960 versus... 1960 versus 1093, 2293 second time. Again me versus Chisgul. And then we had 2489 versus 1093 and 2377. Again, Chisgul was in 2377. Again, me versus Chisgul. And now we have 3505 and 2293, and we are allies. My aura ruined KvK. I have no aura, bro. I have no aura. I have no aura. Yo, Yara. Protect me. Roro, you protect me. So finally, after playing with Chisgul for 6 years, then leaving him, and then fighting against him, what, 5 or 6 times in a row? I'm finally allied with him. Literally, every single KvK he's been there, without fail. I've not played a KvK without Chisgul in God knows how long. I can be in Imperium, I can be in A seed, I can be in B seed. I'm gonna get Chisgul in my KvK. Diplo's done? Yes. We got divorced and started fighting? Yeah, basically. We were in the same kingdom together for 6 years. And then we left each other and then we fought each other 6 KvKs in a row. My archer rally is gonna carry. Yo, my archer rallies are looking kinda mean. We're ready. We are ready. Bro, my second archer set is looking clean as well now. We're gonna be cooking. We are gonna be cooking. Farm KvK for 489 and 93 right now? It looks like it, yeah. Chiz used up all his luck winning in 2377 last KvK. He's not winning anymore rest of the year. Maybe. Maybe Chisgul's gonna curse me. Maybe that's why we're gonna lose. A mill in the bank, bro. Any improvement in equipments or armaments for KvK? I did if you want to see improvements to equipment and armaments travel in the world, you should check my stream yesterday. We spent, I think, over 600 legendary materials yesterday. And we got a new special inscription. And we rolled a bunch of stuff. So if you want to see account improvements, you should go to my channel, go to live, and check my stream yesterday. We did a lot of stuff yesterday to improve the accounts. Wait, what's my record against Shizgul? We gotta figure this out. Okay, wait. First KvK we fought against each other, 1960 versus 2377. I won. 1-0. Then 1960 versus 2293 and 1093. I won. 2-0. Then we had a... well... I guess technically he won, but we didn't fight in the KvK. Did he win? I don't know. Sure, we can give it to him. We can give it to him. 2-1. And then... 489 versus 2-2. So it's 2-2. Unless we don't want to count the farm KvK. Then it's 2-1 to me. Of real KvKs, it's 2-1 to me. But if you want to count the farm KvK, then 2-2. What are my thoughts on this? Everyone in the 3094 has something to prove. All the 500 Billet seeds there have quite high power. Yeah, I mean, definitely. Like, look, listen. Listen. From the looks of what was being said in Diplo and the word on the street, what people are saying in chats, everyone is calling 3094 deadweights, saying they're not gonna fight. All this stuff, right? Basically counting them out of the KvK and not counting them as a camp. That's what people are saying. So yeah, they definitely have... well, they don't need to prove something necessarily. They don't have to. But they definitely can prove a lot of people wrong this KvK if they want to. Which I think that would be quite cool to see. I think that would be quite cool to see. Oh. Wait. I added you already, right? What's this? You want... whoa. What's this? Oh. Yeah, this is the allies. Nice white line. I'll probably do a video about both KvKs tomorrow. Cause man, what a disaster. Well, our KvK looks good, but what a disaster in the 22 or the 1093 and 489 KvK. Let me add you to my chats. What's this? Oh, wow. Wait, he bought a honing stone? No way. Someone actually bought a honing stone? Damn. That's surprising to me. I mean, I guess honing stones. If you're like purely a rally garrison player and you have like this one set that you just want to max out and that's all you care about, I could see it. I could see it. Why do you feel every KvK after the change to KvK pop always have drama? Instead of making things better, it made it worse. I don't think it's the game's fault, like most of the time. Like sure, sometimes there is bad matchmaking, but... a lot of the time, honestly, and I know we don't like to admit that as players, but it's not always Lilith's fault, guys. Sometimes just people can't, like, be logical and can't make reasonable decisions. Yeah, I wish there was another way to get honing stones. Bro, I would max the hell out of this set. But there's no way... Well, how many honing stones would it cost me? So this would be 1, then this one would be 3. So that's already 4. This is another 4, isn't it? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 23, 25, 29. So to max my set, it would... To max my set, it would cost me 29 honing stones. That's crazy. 29 KvKs, 29 autarks to max my set. Yo, Quacks, what's up? The comb over, bro. I'm always rocking the comb over. I literally have one hairstyle. I just go. Listen, this is what I do. I go shower, and then when my hair is wet, I just comb it, and then I let it dry, and that's all I do. Every single time, the same thing. I'm one-dimensional with my hairstyle. I've been doing that for years. Will I be watching Pulse 7 tomorrow? Is that tomorrow in the 2293? No, why do I keep saying 2293? In the 606 3308 KvK, is that tomorrow? I didn't even know it was tomorrow. If it is tomorrow, we'll probably watch it, yeah. Why not? Although, at resets, we're entering the KvK map. So I guess we can watch it until resets, and then we enter the KvK map. And then we do all our tech and stuff. Sounds like a good plan. You sent me the schedule? Bro. You sent me the wrong one first, Quacks, okay? First you ghosted me for like a week. And then you sent me your schedule from last KvK. Yo, Duke, what's up? Duke's free. What's up? Yeah, bro, that's crazy. That's messed up. That guy literally ghosted me for a week straight. And then he sent me the wrong thing. What even is the best silver imp now? I have no clue, bro. I have got no clue. Best silver imp. No idea. In your defense, I caught you when you had just got back from LA at the meetup. Was busy catching up on life. That's a bad excuse. That's one of the worst ones I've heard all day. And I've been reading Diplo chats all day, Quacks. So you know I've been seeing a lot of excuses. Sorry. Some idiot messaged me on Discord. That's what you get for what you did to my team in the Minecraft event. Bro, we should have gotten your flag. I remember still, our guy Sean, he was one off. He was one block away from your dumbass flag, bro, and he didn't have explosives on him, and it was like, bro. Ooh. And then the second time as well, when me and Raz was stuck in your base, we had C4, but we didn't have a detonator, so we couldn't blow through. You were literally, bro, it was the dumbest thing ever. You were behind a wooden door with your flag, and we just couldn't get through. It was so stupid. I remember we had a C4 and we had like a RPG or something, and we shot the C4 with the RPG thinking it would maybe blow it up, but it just didn't. I was like, man. Flew the helicopter into the world barrier? Bro, that was funny. That was funny. Never-ending war in Team Orange's base? Yeah, bro, it was fun. It was really fun. We need to run it in Rust. What do you think? Quacks? Frederick, the game? You know Rust? Do you know Rust, the game? That would be better. Rather than doing it in Minecraft. To run that shit in Rust. What do we know, Jesus Christ? What's wrong with Rust? Minecraft better. You're not cultured. Yo, Raz, thank you for the super chat. 299 AUDs. Kangaroo bucks. Send this back to me later. I have no money. No. This belongs to me now. We need to set a playtime limit or something. Can't compete with those grinders. Is it okay to have horn on QSH? No. Not really, no. Will I do an Ox guide for Orleans? Yes. Probably, yes. Looking for a rock girlfriend serious? Well, you heard it here first, women. Ladies. If you're looking for a hunk of a man, Raz is the guy for you. Damn, Raz is rich, bro. Where you get your paycheck from, man? Raz with another 299 AUD. I hate quacks and I'm looking for a rock girlfriend. Serious. Bro, I saw your video, man, on Chisgle's YouTube channel. Bro, you sound so cute and shy on the video, man. It was big baller. That's facts, Mo. That's facts. My mom give me money, so I give it to Tall Dog instead. Tall Dog is... bro. I hate Raz and he doesn't deserve a rock girlfriend. Damn, Quacks. That's crazy. Is Raz going to Orly this KvK? Probably not. I'm becoming rich. I am. Now I got all of Raz's lunch money and we got the 5 buckaroonie super chat from Quacks. Thank you guys. Good day, mate. Good day, Chunky German. Okay, why is your name Chunky German and you say good day, mate? Damn, bro. $8. $8. Mo, my love, help me find a rock girlfriend. Serious. Bro, Raz, what are you doing, man? So, conclusions. Sorry, we got off topic. 2489, 1093 KvK is baked right now. Our KvK is looking fun. Other than that... Bro just spent his whole Vegemite monthly fund. That's crazy. That's crazy. What do you think about Lilith letting Camp switch positions? I don't know. I don't know. I think it can be abused a bit, but also in certain situations I think it would be good. All right. With that, I think we'll end the stream. If you guys enjoyed it, please throw a like on it. Consider subscribing to the channel. Big important dates. Tomorrow, past 7, 606, 3308, 2359, 1365. We're gonna stream it. Stay tuned for that. And also tomorrow, our KvK map is opening. We're gonna log in, do all the stuff in KvK, check out all the rankings, the map, everything. And then... yeah, that's all. That's all for now. Subscribe! Alright, see you guys.